I never thought my life in the wide-open spaces of Montana would turn into a nightmare of betrayal. But that's exactly what happened that scorching summer afternoon. My name is Emily Hayes. And, up until 6 months ago, I believed I'd nailed the American dream right here in Billings. At 34, I was crunching numbers as a financial analyst at Rocky Mountain Investments, a solid firm downtown where I'd built my career over 8 years. Morning started with the sun rising over the prairies, kissing my husband Jack goodbye in our cozy ranch-style home on the outskirts, and dropping our 10-year-old son, Luke, at school before heading to the office. It felt stable, like the sturdy fences around our property, until it all came crashing down. Jack and I had tied the knot 8 years back. We met at a rodeo barbecue a buddy threw right after I graduated college, full of wide-eyed hopes for love and a future. He was the charmer, climbing the ladder in real estate with big dreams and a grin that made you believe in forever. Back then, he'd surprise me with wildflowers picked from the roadside and scribble goofy notes on my coffee mug. Weekends were for hiking the Beartooth Mountains or dreaming up plans over burgers and beer at the local diner. Luke arrived 2 years in, completing what I thought was our perfect picture. He had Jack's rugged build, but my hazel eyes. And, from his first cry, he became my everything. I cut back my hours at work, even though my boss wasn't thrilled, to make every little league game, every school play, every campfire story count. Jack seemed on board at first, bragging about what a hands-on mom I was. But marriages out here are like the weather, calm 1 minute, stormy the next, and the cracks show up when you least expect. The first sign of trouble hit 3 years ago when Jack pitched combining our bank accounts for efficiency's sake. He laid out charts showing tax perks and how it'd simplify things on our spread-out ranch life. I went along, though my gut twisted like barbed wire. Changes crept in slow. He'd pour over statements with a pen, grilling me on every charge. Why the new boots? Yours ain't worn out yet. Or $50 for Luke's school gear. That's steep.
Eminência.
He'd call it smart budgeting. Prepping for Luke's future rodeo dreams or college. Soon, I was explaining grocery runs, stashing receipts like proof in a lineup. At work, folks invited me for lunch at the steakhouse. But I'd bow out, knowing Jack'd spot the charge and chew me out for frittering away on fancy salads. My coworker Lisa noticed I skipped happy hours. Trouble at home? She'd ask, and I'd flash a grin, blaming it on tight times with fluctuating cattle prices. The grip tightened beyond money. Jack's jabs about my looks came wrapped as worry. That shirt makes you look beat, babe. Or, maybe he's up on the promotion chase. Luke needs a steady home base. Each one stung like a bee, making me doubt my choices from jeans to parenting to my job goals. Yet we painted a pretty picture in town. Jack was the ideal hubby, arm around me at chamber mixers, touting my smarts to clients, dubbing me his rock. Friends envied us. My old roommate quipped, "You're living the dream, Emily." Jack worships the ground you walk on. If she only knew that worship demanded I hand over bits of my freedom daily, like trading water rights in a drought. I told myself it was normal ranch life compromise, that I was overreacting when I'd hide in the barn at night, tears soaking into hay bales so Jack wouldn't probe what's eating you. Looking back, he built my trap masterfully, each rule sold as safeguarding our family spread. I was the analyst who couldn't touch her savings without a nod, the mom justifying cleats for her boy, the wife who'd forgotten deciding without dread. But even corralled horses remember the open range, and one raw act can spark the breakout. The call shattered a crisp March morning. I was knee-deep in reports when my aunt rang. "Emily, darlin', your mom's gone peaceful." The world blurred. Mom had battled cancer 2 years. but I'd bet on her grit. She was just 62. Young enough for Luke's graduations, grandbabies, that Yellowstone trip she'd dreamed of. I bolted from work, driving Montana's endless highways as memories rushed. Mom schooling me on ledgers at 12, her glow at my college acceptance, her hugs through Jack's and my early spats. The funeral was simple. Per her wishes, kin and neighbors at the cemetery overlooking the Yellowstone River. Jack played supportive spouse flawlessly, studying me graveside, wrangling details I couldn't face. Luke wept soft beside me. I held him tight, mourning the grandma who taught him roping and baked apple pies every visit. 2 weeks on, the estate lawyer summoned me. Mrs. Hayes, need you in the office for your mom's affairs. I went solo. Jack had a property showing. Mr. Thompson, a kindly 60-something who'd handled folks' estates forever, consoled me before passing a folder. Your mom was clear, he said. She's left you the whole kit, the cabin in Bozeman, investments, savings. After fees, $250,000. I gaped at the sum, eyes misty. Mom lived frugal, driving her old Ford pickup, pinching pennies at the co-op. I'd no clue she'd squirreled away so much. This too, he added, handing an envelope in her neat script. Inside, my dear Emily, you've given so much to others. This is for you and Luke. Chase that consulting dream. Secure his rodeo gear or schooling. Don't shrink for anyone. You're tougher than Montana granite. Love. Mom. I bawled in my truck after. Mom saw through my facade, gifting me escape from the invisible rains. Telling Jack that night. His hug fell off. That's great, babe. Your mom was always practical. But his grip pinched. We'll park it in high-yield savings tomorrow. I'll sort the transfer. Actually, I ventured. Maybe $150,000 for Luke's college, and the rest for my financial consulting startup. His mask slipped a hair. Don't rush while grieving. Money ain't vanishing. Days later, he turned extra sweet, breakfast in bed, suggesting a weekend in Glacier Park, even pushing me to shop with Lisa. Treat yourself, he said, handing the card. You've earned it. I should have spotted the ploy, kindness before a grab, but sorrow clouded me. His tenderness a balm. A week on, forms appeared at dinner. Just shifting the inheritance to our joint investments, he said casual-like. Better yields. Talked to my broker already. I ain't decided. I pushed back. His tone sharpened. Your mom trusted us with this. Wanna be smart, or squander it like your last for a 1K picks. I'd hit 12% returns, but he called it luck. With Mom's words echoing, I held firm. Need time. His jaw clenched. Fine. But markets don't wait on feelings. We're bleeding cash daily. Awake that night. Her note burned. Don't shrink. For the first time, I craved a choice all mine. The money was wings. Not just dollars, freedom to soar beyond the ranch gates. Little did I know Jack had his own schemes brewing for Mom's last boon. That fateful July Saturday dawned hot and dusty, the kind where heat waves dance off the Montana plains. Luke was at a buddy's birthday bash at the community pool, so I figured I'd peek at our finances while Jack showed properties. Call it a hunch or Mom's whisper, but I logged into our online banking with a password I'd glimpsed him jot months back. My pulse raced like a Mustang, feeling guilty for checking my own funds. Checking looked fine. Then the investment account, where Jack pushed Mom's money for prime returns, loaded. Balance $3,472. My jaw dropped. 3 weeks prior, Statements showed $248,000. Fingers trembling. I scanned transactions. Transfers galore to an unknown account. Biggest $180,000 yesterday. I printed it all. Brain spinning. Rifling the gun safe for docs. The inheritance check vanished. Plus papers I'd signed lately. Tax stuff, Jack claimed. His truck rumbled in. Rage boiled over years of doubt. Crystallizing sharp. Hey, darlin', he breezed into the kitchen, eyeing the scattered prints on the quartz counter. Good show. Where's Mom's money? Jack. His salesman grin flickered. What? I shoved papers. $248,000 gone. Where? His facade cracked, eyes icing over. Invested smart. Not your pipe dream biz. You stole it. That was mine and Luke's. Ours, he snapped. Married. Remember? Yours is mine. Be thankful I'm handling it. You ain't the whiz you think. Shuffling papers at that outfit. I want it back. He barked a laugh, pulling a cashier's check for $15,000. This? What's left after securing our future? Tripling investment in a land deal. But if you're ungrateful, take it and get out of my house. The venom made me recoil. This spreads in my name. Paid by my sweat while you played at work. Lie, I'd covered half the mortgage forever. Truth never mattered to him. Mom, we spun. Luke in the doorway. His pal's mom hovering worried. She dropped him early. Everything okay? Mrs. Hayes. Jack smoothed. Just a spat. Thanks for the lift. She eyed me, but I stayed mum for Luke. Door shit. Jack hissed. Your mom's hysterical. Son. Wants to blow your future on a fool idea. Emily, low and lethal. In front of him, Luke's eyes, my eyes, darted scared. Tell her. Luke. Listen to Dad. I know best. My boy. Who'd I'd nursed through fevers. Taught to saddle a horse. Bandaged scraped knees, looked at me with regret. Mom. Why not just hear Dad? He's the money guy. The words gutted me worse than a branding iron. Jack had poisoned even my son. Betrayal sealed in his tiny voice. Jack smirked, setting the check down. Your scraps. Take 'em and go. Or stay and act right. Something in me shattered, but reformed diamond hard. You're right, calm as a still pond. I should go. His brows shot up. I knelt to Luke. Love you more in the stars. Kiddo. Grabbed purse. Walked out. Not fleeing, strategizing. Jack thought he'd claimed it all. Cash. Home. Boy. He was blind to the storm brewing. I crashed at Lisa's condo that night. Noticing unto tettea. Staring blank. She waited patient till I spilled. Theft. Control. Doubts. She hugged me through sobs. Then, this ain't new, is it? Floodgates opened on buried red flags. 3 years back. Jack pushed house refinance papers over breakfast. Better rates, while Luke slurped cereal. Rushed. I signed trusting. Never saw finals. Was the deed joint still? Then Grandma's silver locket. Her wedding heirloom to me. Gone last year. Jack helped search. Even floated insurance. Supportive. Consoling my tears. Weeks later. A $2,800 jewelry charge. Client perk for deals. Matched the appraiser's value exactly. But I never connected dots. Worst. 5 years ago. My $8,000 work bonus for a big client. Planned anniversary surprise, Jackson whole getaway we'd yapped about. Money vanished when booking. Jack. Shifted to cover biz dip. I'll repay. Never did. Always tight times. Lisa listened, eyes widening. That's financial abuse.
Eminência.
Textbook. The term hit like cold wind off the Rockies. We gotta get you a lawyer. She knew Catherine Reed, a billing shark specializing in messy divorces and fraud. Next day, Catherine's office smelled of leather and resolve. Sharp-suited. She heard my tale.
Nodding.
Classic coercive control. We'll nail him legally. Montana's got strong marital property laws. But prove theft and forgery. We can swing it. She outlined steps, document all. Freeze joint accounts via court order. Sue for fraud. But custody?
Courts favor stavel parents.
Show your primary caregiver. I nodded. Fire kindling. And the money? If invested shady. We trace and recover. But need proof. Catherine dug. The deal was sketchy land flip in the Bakken oil fields with Tom Reeves, a developer with fraud whispers. High risk. Explaining the desperation for my cash. If it tanks pre-close, investors lose deposits, including yours. So we tank it.
Exactly.
I tapped journalism next. Amanda Klein, Billings Gazette reporter on real estate scams. Lisa's college pal introed us over coffee.
Ileidbare, forgeries.
Theft. Dodgy deal. Amanda leaned in, tracked Reeves' years. This could bust him wide. But need hard evidence. I handed files. Ex-client contacts who'd sued Jack. She built a story fast but held at my ask, timing key. Financial strike. Jack's realtor license was his golden ticket. I filed with Montana Board of Realty Regulation. Fraud evidence attached. Investigation launched. Catherine's gem. Unpaid taxes 3 years. Funneled via Shell Corp. We tipped IRS. Audit incoming. Timed to avalanche. At home. I play the part. Smiles at supper. Homework help. Even Jack's firm picnic, where his side piece. Brittany, office admin. Dared compliment my chili. Wanted to spill his downfall. But grinned polite. Toughest. Luke's distance since that day. Bewildered by undercurrents. Couldn't explain. Jacked weaponize in custody fight. So I loved fierce. Logging every care moment while he worked late or golfed. For weeks shy of the land deal close. I struck first. Catherine filed divorce and fraud suit Thursday p.m. By Friday, Jack's network buzzed. Same day, Amanda's piece dropped. Local realtor accused of stealing wife's inheritance for risky oil land scheme. Damning details. Reeves federal probes for laundering. Associates radioactive. My phone lit with Jack's fury. What did you do? Ruined us. No more Luke. Ignored Catherine's orders. Let him unravel. Evening. He stormed in, raging like a bull. You spiteful witch.
Doorschlemmed.
Walls shook. Marcus bailed. Investors suing. License probed. Gimme mom's money back, steady. Gone. Locked in deal. If it flops, we're sunk.
No.
You are. That was my inheritance. Face reddened. Thought he'd swing. But Luke appeared.
Dad.
Jack reigned. Room.
Son.
What's going on? Your mom's wrecking our family. I rose. No.
Luke.
Dad took Grandma's money for your school. I'm fetching it. Luke gawked. Jack grabbed keys. Ain't over. Slammed out. But it was. IRS notice Monday. State fast-tracked probe on article. Reeves vanished. Deal DOA. Investors lawyered up. Tucking Luke in, he whispered. Did Dad steal? Yes.
Hun.
But we love folks despite wrongs, can't let 'em keep him. Quiet beat. Sorry I sided with him. Mom. Hugged tight. Tears flowing. Nothing to sorry for. In the living room of our maybe-soon-lost home, I pondered the brewing gale. Jack saw me as a doormat to trample. He'd learn his error. Courtroom hummed with Billings' buzz, inheritance theft, fraud, abuse tale gone viral via Gazette. Jack sat shrunken, suit hiding stress lines, pricey lawyer looking beat. Catherine shone, case airtight before Judge Harlan Brooks. No frills vet on financial crimes. Your Honor, Catherine opened, will prove Mr.
Ei estole $248 via forgery.
Breach spousal duty, aimed to pauperize Mrs. Hayes while enriching himself and paramour. Objection overruled. Evidence reviewed. Proceed. Chronology unfolded. Forged transfers. Expert confirmed Jack's mimic of my signature. Bank teller. He came alone. Wife sick. Land scheme. Marcus testified for immunity. Dodging Jack's glare. Hayes swore wife knew. But later, keep her clueless. She won't grasp. Affair exposed via subpoenaed texts. Post-divorce. That big sky cabin's ours. Brittany. Ensure Emily gets zilch. Jack. Painting her unstable. News to me. Jack documented my erratic reactions to his gaslighting. Consulted shrink pal for eval. Prepping unfit mom claim. Coup. $2 million life insurance on wife. Him sole beneficiary.
Sans knowledge.
With instability setup and isolation. Hints darker intent.
Gasps.
Objections furious. But seed planted. Jack stand? Pathetic. Misunderstanding. Verbal, okay. Affair irrelevant. Catherine shredded with his words. Email to partner. Wife buys whatever finance yarn I spin. Context.
Transferte sans consent.
Verbal. Witnesses. Crickets. Fifth Amendment. Judge Brooks cut short. My statement? I stood firm. Your Honor. Mom nursed folks her life. Saved every dime for Luke's future and my dream. Hayes didn't steal cash, stole her legacy. My boy's shot. My trust. Not revenge. Justice under Montana law.
Ruling à merde, repaie $248,000 plus $150,000 damage.
House. Fraudulently solo named via refinance sold. Proceeds split post-judgment.
Full custody to me.
Supervised visits for Jack. Case to DA for criminal review. Mr. Hayes. Judge Icy. Seen abuse cases 20 years. Your calculated cruelty and hubris stand out. Assumed her trust weakness. Love exploitable. Wrong. Exiting. Jack pleaded. Emily. Fix this. Catherine blocked. Through lawyers. Outside. Gazette snapped his cop escort. DA arrested on insurance evidence. Next headline. Billings realtor jailed for fraud in wife's inheritance theft. Luke awaited with Lisa. I shared win. He hugged fierce. Knew you were tough.
Mom. Fogo à sec.
Slept sound in her guest room. Luke near, free at last. 6 months on. I eyed Billings' skyline from my office. Hayes Financial Advisory, Soon Sullivan. Maiden name reclaimed post-divorce. $248,000 recovered via asset sales. Jack's truck. Watches liquidated. Damages seeded my startup. Mom's vision. 3 clients aboard. 2 women inspired by my story. Seeking abuse-savvy advice. Jack's tumble public. License yanked. 2-year fraud sentence. Firm folded.
Client bolted.
Brittany ghosted at money's end. Onto fresh marks. Land flop bankrupted Marcus. He fled south. But true win? Rebuilding. Luke bloomed. Therapy unpacked. Conditional love ain't real. Dad's axe not his burden. Joined 4H Robotics. New pals scandal-free. Won county fair ribbon last week. Teacher says I'm a fixer like you.
Mom.
Healed my mom heart. Lisa joined as ops manager. Ditching old job. Brought coffee. 10 a.m. Confirmed. Amanda wants you at financial workshop. Yes. If my tale warned one woman. Worth it. Catherine texted. Biz launch article mommed beam.
Spot on.
Money fulfilled. Freedom. Luke's trust-funded future untouchable. Desk photo. Mom and me at graduation. Her note. My sharp girl. Don't let em dim you. Lesson hard-earned. Jack tried snuffing it. Deeming me helpless sans him. But inner spark? Unquenchable. Probe reveal divorce plot post-deal. Instability docs for custody/alimony dodge. Insurance backup chilling. How far?
Don't dwell.
Prison letter. Blame fest. Burned unread. Visits optional. Luke. When ready. If he's truly sorry, not just busted. Prepping first client. I reflected on old me. Scared to spend $50 sans okay. Doubting expertise despite skills. Stranger now. New Emily Sullivan. Owner. Survivor. Mom. Destined self. Jack buried her in manipulation. She sprouted stronger. Email chimed. Read your story. Hubby controls finances, scared. Options. Replied. Yes. Not alone. Tougher than you know. Revenge ain't destruction. It's rising from ashes. Proving unbreakable. Jack wanted me erased. I emerged thriving. Best payback.
Dorschwim, Luke.
Backpack ready for school drop pre-meeting. Ready. Mom. Always. Stepping into Montana morn. Victory crystallized, not court wins or headlines. But this freedom stride with my son. Future ours. But the story didn't end there with just legal triumphs and new beginnings. In the months following the trial, I found myself reflecting deeper on what had gone wrong. Not just in my marriage, but in how I'd let the warning signs slide like dust in the wind. Montana's vast landscapes have a way of putting things in perspective, the endless horizons reminding you that life's too big for one person's control. I started journaling, not for revenge plots anymore, but to unpack the lessons for Luke and myself. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the Absarica Mountains, painting the sky in oranges and pinks, Luke and I sat on the porch of our new modest bungalow. Proceeds from the house sale had bought us a fresh start without the ghosts of the old ranch.
Mom.
Why did Dad do all that? Luke asked, fiddling with a model robot from his club. I paused, choosing words careful as handling fragile china. Sometimes, people get lost in wanting more control, more money, more everything. But it blinds them to what's real. Family. Trust. Kindness. He nodded slow. Like how you always say, a good fence makes good neighbors, but maybe good hearts make good families? I smiled, ruffling his hair. Exactly.
Kiddo.
And remember, forgiveness ain't forgetting. It's choosing not to let hurt define you. That conversation sparked something humane in our healing. I didn't want Luke growing up bitter. I wanted him wiser.
Kinda.
As my business grew, I incorporated free workshops at the community center, teaching folks, especially women in rural areas, about financial red flags in relationships. Spot the signs early, I'd say. Sharing anonymized bits of my story. Joint accounts are fine if trust's equal. But if questions feel like interrogations, that's a storm brewing. Amanda covered one session. Her article framing it as From Victim to Advocate, Billings Woman Turns Betrayal into Empowerment. Calls poured in, not just clients, but women sharing stories over coffee. Forming a quiet support network like the underground springs feeding Montana's rivers. Even Jack's sides softened the edges of my anger. From prison, after the blame letter, came another, months later, post some mandated counseling. Emily, I see now how I twisted love into chains. Not asking forgiveness yet, working on me. I didn't reply right away, but showed Catherine. Progress, she mused. Montana law allows supervised contact, up to you and Luke. We talked it over as a family, me and Luke, with his therapist's input. If he changes, maybe, Luke said. But we decide. That power shift felt profound, a light lesson in boundaries and growth. One crisp fall day, I drove to Bozeman to clear Mom's old cabin, part of the inheritance I'd kept. Dust motes danced in sunlight streaming through windows, and I found a box of her old letters and photos. One snapshot. Us three, Mom,
Me.
baby Luke, laughing by the river. Her strength had been quiet, not vengeful. Make it humane, I whispered, echoing the new path. Instead of selling the cabin, I turned it into a retreat for my workshops, a place for reflection amid nature's peace. First group, 5 women, stories mirroring mine. We hiked, shared, planned escapes, not dramatic revenges, but steady steps to independence. Luke joined sometimes, learning early that Real's strength ain't domination, it's lifting others.
Mom.
This is cool. Like your revenge, but nicer. I laughed. Not revenge anymore.
Bull.
Redemption. As winter snow blanketed the plains, my life settled into a rhythm of gratitude. Business thrived. Luke excelled. And I even dated casually, a kind rancher from church.
No ruse.
Just companionship. The old rage had mellowed into wisdom. Betrayal hurts. But it can forge resilience if you choose growth over grudge. In the end, the greatest twist wasn't exposing Jack's lies, but discovering my own capacity for compassion. Mom's gift hadn't just been money. It was a reminder that from pain's soil, kindness can bloom. And that's the light lesson I carry, one Montana sunset at a time. But wait. The humane turn didn't stop at reflections. It wove into the fabric of our new life. When Jack's release neared after serving time, reduced for good behavior and completed programs, he reached out through lawyers for a mediated meeting. Catherine advised caution. Montana family courts encourage co-parenting if safe. Luke, now 11 and wiser than his years, wanted to try. I want to see if he's different.
Mom.
For me, we met at a neutral coffee shop in downtown Billings, supervised by a counselor. Jack looked changed, thinner, eyes without the old arrogance, more like a man who'd stared down his demons in a cell. Emily, Luke, he started, voice steady but humble. I can't undo the hurt. Therapy showed me I was chasing control 'cause I feared losing what I had. Stole from you to prop up my ego.
I'm sorry truly. No excuses. No blame.
Luke asked tough. Why Mom's money? Jack met his gaze. Greed.
Son.
Thought it was easy fix. Learned hard way. Easy paths destroy. We talked boundaries. No overnights yet. Therapy joint sessions. It wasn't instant forgiveness, but a crack in the wall. Letting light in. Back home, Luke processed. He seemed sorry. Think people change. Some do. With work, I said. We'll watch actions, not words. That meeting planted seeds of reconciliation. Not for Jack's sake, but ours, teaching Luke mercy's strength. My business evolved too, partnering with local nonprofits for abuse awareness, emphasizing legal paths like Montana's equitable distribution laws and protective orders. Know your rights, I'd stress. Inheritance is separate property if not commingled. Document everything. One client, A young mom from the res, mirrored my start, controlling hubby, stolen savings. We navigated her divorce, recovered funds via fraud claims, set her up independent. Her thank you hug. You gave me hope. That's when I felt Mom's presence strongest, her legacy rippling humane waves. Holidays came humane too. First Thanksgiving post-trial. Luke suggested inviting Jack for supervised dinner. If he's alone. We did. Awkward but civil. No drama. Just turkey and tentative talks. Jack brought Mom's old pie recipe. A nod to roots. Thanks for this, he said quiet. Working to earn it. By spring. Supervised visits turned unsupervised short ones. Courts approved based on progress reports. Luke reported. Dad's different.
Mom.
Listens now. I saw it. Jack in AA. Volunteering at a shelter.
Rebuilding sans shortcut.
Not back to old us. That bridge burned, but co-parents. Focused on Luke. My dating turned serious with the rancher. Tom steady. Respectful.
Sharing finance transparent.
No secrets. We agreed early. Luke approved. He's nice. Not bossy. Reflecting on the journey. The shocking theft led to unexpected healing. Instead of bitter end, we found a humane close. Family redefined. Not destroyed. Jack's fall taught him humility. My rise. Empathy. The light lesson? Pain can divide or unite. Choice is ours. In Montana's big sky, where storms pass quick, I learned revenge fades, redemption endures.
Now.
With Luke thriving, business booming, and peace in my heart, life's not perfect, but authentic. And that's the real American dream, forged in fire, tempered with grace. As I close this chapter, I hope it shows that even in betrayal's shadow, humanity can light the way forward. We've all got wings. Sometimes hurt reminds us to fly kinder.